Hey, welcome to Growing Devotions for Your Daily Life. Man, I tell you what, there is nothing like a battle that takes place between your two natures. I'm talking about your old nature and your new nature. I have been so thankful that Paul wrote about this in Romans chapter 7. In fact, he said, I don't even understand my own actions. Have you ever felt that way? When you find yourself constantly back at the starting point, it feels like, and says, look, I've already learned this lesson. Why am I back here? He says, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. You ever heard somebody say, well, that person's just a good old guy. They're a good old boy. You know what the Bible says? Within us, there is no good thing that dwelleth inside of us. This is what Paul is learning here. He says, I know who I am. Have you ever taken a glance at who you are? Outside, everything looks great. But have you ever looked at the inward, the flesh, the man, the woman side of you, about who you really are? The thoughts that you have when nobody else is looking? The things that we watch when nobody else is watching, that we think nobody else is watching? The things that we say, maybe not coming out here, but we think them, the judgment thoughts that we have. Paul says, why do I keep doing those things? And why do I constantly find myself going back to these things? He says, the very things that I hate. You know what he was hating? He was hating the flesh that is yet to be redeemed, that hasn't been redeemed. The sin nature, right? The flesh that dwells inside of him. He still has this new nature that's coming in, and he still has this constant war that battles within his soul. If you're a guy out there today, you know what it feels like to have pornography pop up onto your screen, and you feel that war that fights in your soul to say, do you click on it or do you not? I know I talk to young men all the time that are constantly in this battle. To men, older men that are constantly in this battle. Women, you constantly fight the battle of judging other women or finding out, do you match up to them? You compare yourself to them. There's a constant battle when we are dealing with sin. The constant battle to lie, to cheat, to steal, to look at others that God did not give us. There's a constant battle in our life. And there's been times where I've been like Paul, and he says, my desire is to do what is right. He says, but man, I just stop because I don't have the ability to carry it out. And what is he talking about? Because the spirit is not strong enough? He said, no, because my flesh is weak and I'm trying to carry out and be good on my own. And he's learning this. He says, I have learned that if I try to live this life by myself and by the flesh, he says, and the flesh indwells no good thing. He says, I'm going to constantly find myself falling on my face again. You know, there's an old saying that whichever one you feed the most is the one that's going to win. You know why you find yourself constantly falling to your sin nature? Is because that's what you're feeding. If we find ourselves feeding our spirit, then we're going to find our spirit is going to win. And we're not going to be the victors. And we're going to find the victory is only found in Jesus Christ. And sometimes we get to the part where the old man is such heaviness on us, and we're constantly in this battle, and you cry out to Jesus Christ for the salvation and for this release of getting out of this sin. And he says, thank you for finally calling on me. And he does it in a miraculous, wonderful way. I don't know about you, but I get sick and tired of the battle that's constantly raging within inside of me. But one day, we're going to have glorified bodies. And this sin nature is finally going to be put to rest forever. And we will experience a peace that we've never experienced before. No more war raging within our souls. Hope you're encouraged by this today. Keep feeding your spirit. Keep denying your flesh. And you'll figure out that God is the victor and not you pulling up yourself by your bootstraps and making this happen. God bless you.